Hi everyone! For those who are new to my channel, my name is Bella. I am an international student advisor, mentor, and founder of IRCC Study and Explore Canada. Our mission is to provide pathways to success and exceptional mentorship experience to international students in a hassle-free, enjoyable, and worthwhile process. In my previous video, I talked about the detailed refusal reasons that you find in a refusal letter and possible workarounds to address these issues on your next application. I'm coming to you today to give you helpful tips for passing the study permit interview process with the visa officer. I have heard from some of my students who have been selected for a visa interview. If you get invited to a study permit interview, there is no need to panic. With a little preparation and practice, you can build confidence to get ready and answer any questions with ease. Here, I provide a guide for the exact documents you will need on the day and things to focus on while preparing for your interview. First, submit your application. If you're thinking of studying in Canada, submit your study permit application well in advance. Ideally, the best time to begin your application is straight after you get your university or college and course offer. Starting your application is the first step toward getting your study visa. Today, all applications can be completed online quickly as long as you have the correct documents available. Before starting your study permit application, check out my ultimate guide to applying for a Canadian study permit with the IRCC mentorship program that comes in 3 tiers that you can see right on your screen. The first tier is the IRCC beginner pack, the second one is the IRCC advanced beginner, and finally the IRCC A+ membership. Check out my website somewhere on your screen for more detailed information. It is important to start your visa application first, then you can return to your interview preparation later. Second, work on your English skills. A common requirement for Canadian study permits is evidence that you can speak, listen, and write in English, and sometimes in French. If you're selected for a Canada visa interview, the immigration official will assess your language skills. A good starting place is to read English or French language blogs, magazines, and books. In addition, speaking in English with family members and friends helps to improve fluency. Listening to English TV and radio shows is also a great way to listen to and understand the language. Ultimately, with better language skills, your answers will be clearer and your studies will be easier too. Third, organize your documents. As part of the Canada study permit application, you'll have to provide lots of official documents. You're likely to have these available before starting your application. However, if you don't have these documents or some are out of date, give yourself plenty of time to prepare. If you're invited to an interview, make sure you've got all the documents organized. Keeping a physical folder with all the documents is helpful, and having a digital copy of each item is also helpful. In the interview, you will be asked about why you are studying in Canada. As a result, having important permit documents is a good way to remind yourself of your key reasons for studying. For instance, you will have strong reasons on your personal statement and letter of acceptance from your university or college. But equally as important are your documents on finances and previous qualifications. As I promised at the beginning, I will be sharing with you the top tips for passing the visa interview and some sample questions that you can practice on. If you receive an invitation for a permit interview, remember that it is not a bad thing. The interview is just to find out more about you and why you want to study in Canada. As soon as you receive your interview invitation, you can start getting ready to succeed. Breaking down the preparation into 2 sections, before the interview and during the interview, can help split your focus. As a result, I provided some of our top tips on how to practice leading up to the interview and how to be confident on the day. Now let's talk about before the interview. Getting fully prepared can make a huge difference when the interview day comes. Therefore, the tips help you to think about the best way to get ready for interview day. First, read through your application and be sure of all the information you have mentioned there. Second, research and have the necessary information about Canada, the city, the university or college, and the course of your choice. Go through your financial plans, budget, and estimated expenses. Work on your English language communication skills. You can start by talking to your friends and family in English and watching Canadian films or series. Practice. Try answering the sample questions mentioned in front of a mirror. Notice your body language and work on it. Practice with mock interviews at home. Ask one of your family members to be the visa interviewer and answer their questions. Now let's talk about during the interview. Once the day arrives, you will be prepared and focused on answering any questions. However, some last-minute preparations can help you feel more confident as the interview takes place. Dress to look neat and smart. Wear professional clothes to set a good impression. Be punctual. Many students, like yourself, will most likely have their interviews on the same day. If you're late, you will give a negative impression from the start, and your interview might be rushed. Walk in with confidence and greet the visa officer with a smile. This way you can start the interview on a positive note. Pay attention to the questions and answer with brief and straightforward answers. This part will be easier if you practice in advance. Be honest. Remember that the purpose of the interview is just to check if your intentions to study abroad are genuine. You don't have to lie if you do not know the answer to a question. Also, remember that the visa officer will have the experience to find out if you're lying. The visa officer will ask questions clarifying the things you mentioned in your study permit application. The questions will typically be about your background and future plans. Sometimes the officer might ask you to add to your response, so make sure you are fully prepared. Overall, the questions are about you and your studies, so there is nothing to worry about during the interview. To help you get ready for the interview, I provide some sample questions. When practicing, use these in a mock interview with a friend or family member and think of how you will answer during the interview. Why do you want to study in Canada? Why and how did you choose this university or college? What is the specialization of your degree and how do you think this will help you? What are your future plans after finishing your degree? Do you plan to work while studying? On qualifications. Tell us about your educational qualifications. How good are your English language communication skills? What are your scores? Are you satisfied with them? Do you have prior experience studying abroad? How will you handle assimilating to the new culture? Have you received a scholarship to study here? Personal or financial? What is your source of income? What is the estimated cost of the course you plan to do in Canada? And how are you going to support yourself financially while studying in Canada? Is your current employer sponsoring you to study? What do your parents do? What is their annual income? If you haven't already, get started with your application to your dream college or university in Canada. We have partnered with all DLI institutions in Canada, which means that you have access to 15,000 programs from over 150 institutions in Canada. Check out the ICANN A+ membership for a more personalized and comprehensive mentorship from college admission to arrival in Canada. Mentorship is offered in both English, Tagalog, and Ilocano, and a little bit of French and Spanish. En plus, and on Poco. I will be posting a link on the description box below so you can get started right away. It's been a pleasure having been able to share some interview tips with you today. If you find this useful, please like, share, and subscribe to my channel to keep you up to date with more tips and updates about your Canadian journey. Once again, this is Bella, wishing you all the best. If you have any questions or concerns, please leave a comment below and I will be obliged to answer all of them. Alternatively, you can reach out to me by email that is flashing right on your screen. Mabuhay and God bless. We gotcha. Bye for now.